You wear long sleeves even when the weather is warm, to hide the physical evidence of your internal storm. You don't like to talk about the history you carry, or the monsters in your childhood that were terrifyingly scary. I watch you navigate the kitchen with a cautious precision, like every single movement was a life-altering decision. You protect your vulnerabilities behind a high stone wall, terrified that if you stumble you will permanently fall. I have my own trauma buried deep in my chest, a heavy metal anchor that will never let me rest. From the time my father walked out on the family home, leaving us to navigate the wilderness alone. We are two damaged individuals trying to survive, using all our energy just to stay alive. But proximity is difficult when touch causes pain, and every conversation is an emotional strain. The bandages are dirty, but we refuse to look below at the deep lacerations that we never dare to show. We are treating our symptoms with a temporary band, too terrified of surgery to let a person understand. We are examining our hidden scars in the mirror today, wishing we could wash the history completely away. The tissue is healed, but the sensitivity remains, a silent ledger of our unacknowledged pains. Yeah, the surface looks smooth, but the damage is deep. You flinch when I try to brush the hair from your eyes, an involuntary reflex that you try to disguise as a casual gesture or a sneeze in the air. But I recognize the symptoms of a deep-seated despair. We are like soldiers returning from an undeclared war, who don't know what they are fighting for anymore. The weapons are put away, but the paranoia stays, governing the conduct of our ordinary days. I found a bottle of settlers behind the vanity glass, a chemical assistance to make the long evenings pass. You take them in secrecy before you go to bed, to quiet all the arguments that occur inside your head. I don't judge open mechanisms because I have my own, a bottle of whiskey that I consume when I am alone. We are self-medicating to survive the night, hoping that the morning will make everything right. The bandages are dirty, but we refuse to look below at the deep lacerations that we never dare to show. We are treating our symptoms with a temporary band, too terrified of surgery to let a person understand. We are examining our hidden scars in the mirror today, wishing we could wash the history completely away. The tissue is healed, but the sensitivity remains, a silent ledger of our unacknowledged pains. Yeah, the surface looks smooth, but the damage is deep. And there is no guarantee that honesty will cure. So we put our armor back on and adjust the disguise, hiding our histories from each other's prying eyes. Don't touch too much. Hey, we are examining our hidden scars in the mirror today, wishing we could wash the history completely away. The tissue is healed, but the sensitivity remains, a silent ledger of our unacknowledged pains. Yeah, the surface looks smooth, but the damage is deep. Cover it up, fill the cup, heal. old album sits upon the dusty wooden shelf, a portrait of a boy who looks a bit like myself, beside a girl with the ribbons in her tangled golden hair, sitting on a blanket in the middle of the square. The colors have all shifted into shades of pale and gray, like chemical reactions washing memories away. I trace the silver outline of your unforgettable face, stuck inside a pocket of a long forgotten place. The Polaroid camera made a clicking sort of noise back when we were playing with our favorite childhood toys. We waited for the image to develop in the sun, counting all the seconds until everything was done. The chemical solution captured moments in a flash before our little kingdom came to crumble in a crash. Now look at how the edges are beginning to unglue, just like the connection that I shared along with you. The lens was cracked, but we could see the future pretty clear. We didn't know the definition of a sudden fear, but exposure to the sunlight makes the image disappear. Look at these faded photos hanging on the bedroom wall, reminding us of times before we learned how we could fall. The smiles are getting blurry and the background starts to bleed. We lost the very map that we so desperately need. Yeah, the pictures fade away, but the shadows always stay. I found another snapshot in the pocket of my coat, wrapped around a tiny and a handwritten short note. You said you would love me till the oceans all went dry, but oceans turned to deserts and the clouds deserted sky. The camera never lies, but it omits the painful part. It doesn't show the cracking of a heavy human heart. It only shows the laughter and the sunshine on the beach, while keeping all the misery far out of human reach. I try to remember what you said right before the click. The memory is playing like a cruel and wicked trick. The audio is missing, though the visual remains a gallery of pleasure that is shielding all the pains. The chemical emotion is decaying on the sheet, while I am walking lonely down the suffocating street. If I could take another shot, I'd change the focal length to see if our relationship possessed a greater strength. The lens was cracked, but we could see the future pretty clear. We didn't know the definition of a sudden fear, but exposure to the sunlight makes the image disappear. Look at these faded photos hanging on the bedroom wall, reminding us of times before we learned how we could fall. The smiles are getting blurry and the background starts to bleed. We lost the very map that we so desperately need. Yeah, the pictures fade away, but the shadows always stay. Freeze the frame, hold your breath, don't you dare to move. We have so many arguments we tried so hard to prove, but a photograph is static, it can never change its mind, leaving all the explanations somewhere far behind. Shake the picture, wait for light, hope it turns out fine, but you cannot rewrite the script of your life and mine. Just a ghost in a frame. I barely know your name. Look at these faded Yeah, the pictures fade away, but the shadows always stay, fading out without a doubt. Click. You held a camel hairbrush and a palette full of gold, creating a landscape that was wondrous to behold. You brushed away the blemishes, the anger and the grease, replacing all our arguments with images of peace. I stood behind your easel in the chilly basement flat, admiring how you hid the stains upon the welcome mat. We manufactured happiness with pigment and with oil to cover up the toxicity inside our native soil. The canvas was a barrier against the outside storm, where we pretended everything was cozy, safe and warm. You drew a perfect family beside a roaring fire, concealing all the boundaries of your unfulfilled desire. But varnish cannot stabilize a structural decay, and turpentine will dissolve the finest display. The portrait started cracking when the humidity arose, exposing all the misery under your graceful pose. Pigment is peeling from the fabric of our trust, and all your golden highlights are transforming into rust. We spend our energy on making the illusions look so bright, instead of fixing problems in the middle of the night. We are staring at these painted lies, hanging on the frame, hiding all the ugliness that we refuse to name. Found your old sketchbooks in a wooden storage chest, containing all the charcoal drawings you had suppressed. The raw sketches revealed a very different state of mind, a darker narrative that you had purposefully aligned. There were no happy meadows or a shining sunny beach, just desperate figures reaching out for things beyond their reach. I realized then that honesty was something you eschewed, preferring a depiction that was elegantly glued. Around the gallery of our departed years, and notice how the watercolor matches with my tears. The exhibition is closed now, but the inventory stays, a catalog of falsity that occupied our days. You were a clever artist, but you couldn't paint a heart that stayed together when the reality tore it apart. The frame is splintering under the atmospheric weight, a tragic exhibition of our artificial fate. The pigment is peeling from the fabric of our trust, and all your golden highlights are transforming into rust. We spend our energy on making the illusions look so bright, instead of fixing problems in the middle of the night. We are staring at these painted lies, hanging on the frame, hiding all the ugliness that we refuse to name. The colors are bleeding and the perspective is wrong. We lived inside an artwork that didn't belong. dreams have all fled. We are just two models whose relationship is dead. Throw away the brushes, spill the solvent on the floor, because we are not posing for each other anymore. Strip the paint, see the scar. Who we are, we are staring at these painted lies, hanging on the frame, hiding all the ugliness that we refuse to name. The colors are bleeding, the perspective is wrong. We lived inside an artwork that didn't belong. Yeah, the masterpiece is ruined, and the illusion is gone. Fading shades, beauty fades, blank. I dipped the fountain pen into the bottle of black ink and sat beside the desk to give myself a chance to think. The envelope is addressed to your apartment on the hill, where the air is always biting and the wind is always chill. I struggled with the opening, the greeting felt so cold, a stark contrast to stories that we previously told. My handwriting is shaky and the sentences are brief, a summary of modern love collapsing into grief. You always loved the structure of a handwritten note, the texture of the parchment and the poetry I wrote. But this is not a ballad filled with compliments and praise. It's a declaration of the end of all our golden days. I explain the exact moment when the magic disappeared, the quiet realization of the outcome that we feared. No arguments or screaming matches, just a steady decline, a mutual understanding that your path was distinct from mine. The postage stamp is fixed upon the corner of the page, a final validation of our exit from the stage. We are signing off the ledger, closing up the heavy book without a single hesitation or a backward look. These are the last letters that I will ever send to you, a final explanation of the things we couldn't do. The ink is drying slowly, but the meaning is so clear. We ran out of sentences to keep each other near. Yeah, we spelled out our goodbye in a beautiful design. I walked down to the postbox at the corner of the square. The midnight fog is thick enough to choke the heavy air. I hold the envelope above the metal opening slot, reviving every single word and every single thought. Once it drops inside the box, there is no turning back, no way to intercept the mail or alter up the track. It felt like dropping weights into a deep and dark abyss, a tragic conclusion to a love that started with a kiss. I imagine when you receive it on Tuesday afternoon, you slice the paper open with a silver butter spoon. Your eyes will scan the paragraphs I labored to construct, detailing how our paradise was suddenly destruct. Maybe a tear will fall and smudge the signature below, or maybe you'll be relieved to finally let it go. We carved our names in tree bark, but the wood began to rot, and this final correspondence is the only thing we got. The postage stamp is fixed upon the corner of the page, a final validation of our exit from the stage. We are signing off the ledger, closing up the heavy book without a single hesitation or a backward look. These are the last letters that I will ever send to you, a final explanation of the things we couldn't do. The ink is drying slowly, but the meaning is so clear. steal the bag, let the postman do the chore, because we are not communicating anymore. Dear love, goodbye. Don't cry. I'll never send to you. These are the last letters. Explanation of the things we couldn't do. Oh, the ink is drying slowly, but the meaning is so clear. We ran out of sentences to keep each other near. Yeah, we spelled out our goodbye in a beautiful design. Postage paid, memories fade, signed. Signed. We spent our teenage summers under stadium bleachers, ignoring all the warnings from our worried school teachers. We drank cheap soda from aluminum cans, making grand, unrealistic and magnificent plans. You had a skateboard with the graphics worn off, laughing at the future with the arrogant scoff. We carved our initials in the gymnasium floor, believing that our innocence would last evermore. But adolescence vanishes like smoke from a match, leaving only memories that we cannot reattach. The graduation ceremony came and it went, and all that sovereign energy was permanently spent. I see you working now behind a corporate desk, your wild hair tamed into something picturesque. We traded our rebellion for a steady paycheck, leaving the remains of our adventure a wreck. The yearbook is collecting mildew in a box, and time has picked the tumblers of our secret combination locks. We squandered our potential on a beautiful illusion, losing all our clarity in a adult confusion. Oh, we are mourning for our wasted youth tonight, the years we threw away without a single proper fight. We ran head first into a calculated trap, losing all the coordinates on our juvenile map. Yeah, the calendar was stealing while we looked the other way. I found an old mixtape in the glove compartment tray, with songs we used to scream along to every single day. The tape is warped from the heat of July, just like the confidence they used to glorify our sky. I remember when we swore we would never grow old or conform to the expectations that the society sold. But the system is a grinder that is heavy and slow, crushing all the impulses that we used to show. You don't wear your leather jacket anymore, it's hanging in the closet by the basement pantry door. You speak in vocabulary that is clinical and dry, without a single spark of rebellion in your eye. We became the very citizens we used to despise, with calculated answers and conventional ties. The playground is a parking lot of bitumen and stone, where we sit inside our vehicles completely alone. The yearbook is collecting mildew in a box, and time has picked the tumblers of our secret combination locks. We squandered our potential on a beautiful illusion, losing all our clarity in a adult confusion. Oh, we are mourning for our wasted youth tonight, the years we threw away without a single proper fight. Losing all the coordinates on our juvenile map. Yeah, the calendar generation is permanently expired. We are just two adults paying mortgage and rent, regretting every single moment that we casually misspent. Young hearts, old smarts, done. Oh, we are mourning for our wasted youth tonight. The years we threw away without a single proper fight. Oh, we ran head first into a calculated trap, losing all the coordinates on our juvenile map. Yeah, the calendar was stealing while we looked the other way. You fades, long shades, age. There is no thunder or a lightning display, just a heavy gray canopy obscuring the day. The leaves on the maple trees are turning upside down, a silent alert to the citizens of this town. We sit in the parlor without turning on the lamp, as the air in the residence grows heavy and damp. You are folding your laundry with a meticulous care, ignoring the electrical tension in the air. A loud argument would be a welcome relief to break the momentum of this gathering grief. But we speak in low whispers like we are inside a church, while our emotional stability is left on a perch. The rain starts to fall, but it doesn't make a sound as it absorbs into the dry, unyielding ground. A stealthy disaster that is taking its time to erode the foundations of our youth sublime. The barometric pressure is crushing our chest, and the internal anxiety will not let us rest. We are waiting for the deluge to wash us away from the silent battlefield of this ordinary day. We are weathering a quiet storm inside this apartment tonight, fighting a battle without a visible light. The destruction is subtle, but the impact is deep, infiltrating the dreams that we have when we sleep. Yeah, the flooding is gradual, but the water is high. I watch a single drop track down the window pane, a miniature river of the silent summer rain. It doesn't rattle the glass or make a dramatic scene, it just creates a barrier that settles between your side of the table and the sector I claim, as we silently assign the institutional blame for the slow expiration of the passion we fed without a single aggressive syllable being said. The carpet is soaking from the moisture below, where the hidden underground springs begin to overflow. The mold is accumulating behind the drywall sheets, a secret decay that the architecture meets. We pretend everything is structurally sound and secure, while we watch the deterioration that we have to endure. A silent catastrophe under a domestic roof, where the lack of communication is the ultimate proof. The barometric pressure is crushing our chest, and the internal anxiety will not let us rest. We are waiting for the deluge to wash us away from the silent battlefield of this ordinary day. We are weathering a quiet storm inside this apartment tonight, fighting a battle without a visible light. The destruction is subtle, but the impact is deep, infiltrating the dreams that we have when we sleep. Yeah, the flooding is gradual, but the water is high. sluggish and slow. So we sit in the dampness as the ceilings cave in, absorbing the consequences of our quiet sin. Drip, drop, it won't stop. Submerged, submerged. Oh, we are weathering a quiet storm inside this apartment tonight, fighting a battle without a visible light. The destruction is subtle, but the impact is deep, infiltrating the dreams that we have when we sleep. Yeah, the flooding is gradual, but the water is high. Silent rain, drowning pain, deluge. Deluge. I tasted the dark marmalade you left upon the plate, a flavor profile that matches our contemporary state. A little bit of sugary sweetness at the very start, followed by an astringent bite that punctures the heart. We cultivated a recipe that was complex and refined, blending the ingredients that our personalities aligned. But the ratio was faulty and the mixture turned sour, leaving an unpleasant aftertaste at this final hour. I remember the honeymoon phase in the orchard by the farm, when every single syllable possessed a therapeutic charm. We picked fresh strawberries from the bushes in the field, savoring the bounty that the fertile soil would yield. But the seasons rotated and the frost came too soon, blackening the vegetation under an October moon. Now the fruit is fermenting in the wooden storage bin, a toxic transformation that is occurring from within. The culinary experts cannot fix this broken stew, and there is no condiment that can make the flavor new. We are consuming the remnants of a beautiful mistake, numbing our palates for our mental sanity's sake. We are swallowing this bittersweet memory tonight, trying to convince ourselves that everything is right. A confusing combination that is driving us insane. Yeah, the medicine is harsh, but the sickness was deep. I found a dark chocolate bar in the pocket of your vest, a confectionery treat that you had previously suppressed. I broke off a square and let it dissolve on my tongue, recalling the melodies that we previously sung. It was 80% cacao, intense and severe, an accurate reflection of the atmosphere. Here we don't do simple sugar or cheap artificial treats, we prefer the complexity of these emotional defeats. The coffee machine is dripping in the pantry alcove now as I prepare a beverage to make my final bow. I don't add any cream or the white granulated crystals. We are treating our farewell like the firing of pistols, just a black boiling liquid that is scorching to the throat, a fitting a commitment to the final note I wrote. We drink to our history and the damage we sustained, savoring the agony that permanently remained. The culinary experts cannot fix this broken stew, and there is no condiment that can make the flavor new. We are consuming the remnants of a beautiful mistake, numbing our palates for our mental sanity's sake. We are swallowing this bittersweet memory tonight, trying to convince ourselves that everything is right. The contrast is brutal emotionalists, you cannot separate the sugar from the gold when you choose to consume it all. Tonic, syrup, pour it out. The end, we are swallowing this bittersweet memory tonight, trying to convince ourselves that everything is right. The contrast is brutal and the pleasure brings us pain, a confusing combination that is driving us insane. Yeah, the medicine is harsh, but the sickness was deep. Sharp tang, door bang, acrid. I dipped the fountain pen into the bottle of black ink and sat beside the desk to give myself a chance to think. The envelope is addressed to your apartment on the hill, where the air is always biting and the wind is always chill. I struggled with the opening, the greeting felt so cold, a stark contrast to stories that we previously told. My handwriting is shaky and the sentences are brief, a summary of modern love collapsing into grief. You always loved the structure of a handwritten note, the texture of the parchment and the poetry I wrote. But this is not a ballad filled with compliments and praise. It's a declaration of the end of all our golden days. I explain the exact moment when the magic disappeared, the quiet realization of the outcome that we feared. No arguments or screaming matches, just a steady decline, a mutual understanding that your path was distinct from mine. The postage stamp is fixed upon the corner of the page, the final validation of our exit from the stage. We are signing off the ledger, closing up the heavy book, without a single hesitation or a backward look. These are the last letters that I will ever send to you, a final explanation of the things we couldn't do. The ink is drying slowly, but the meaning is so clear. We ran out of sentences to keep each other near. Yeah, we spelled out our goodbye in a beautiful design. I walked down to the post box at the corner of the square. The midnight fog is thick enough to choke the heavy air. I hold the envelope above the metal opening slot, with you in every single word and every single thought. Once it drops inside the box, there is no turning back, no way to intercept the mail or alter up the track. It felt like dropping weights into a deep and dark abyss, a tragic conclusion to a love that started with a kiss. I imagine when you receive it on Tuesday afternoon, you'll slice the paper open with a silver butter spoon. Your eyes will scan the paragraphs I labored to construct, detailing how our paradise was was suddenly distraught. Maybe a tear will fall and smudge the signature below. Or maybe you'll be relieved to finally let it go. We carved our names in tree bark, but the wood began. The station platform flashes underneath the neon sign. A dozen sleepy passengers are standing in a line. I bought a one-way ticket to a city in the north to flee the situation that was going back and forth. The steam is rising slowly from the belly of the beast. This midnight cold is blowing from the valleys of the east. I look across my shoulder at the city lights behind, with 100 contradictions rolling heavy through my mind. You were sleeping on the mattress when I packed my leather case. I didn't leave a message in that suffocating place. The engine gave a whistle like a signal of distress. A metal rotor pulled me from this complicated mess. The conductor waves a lantern and the iron wheels rotate, a heavy movement forcing us to compromise with fate. The scenery is vanishing into a sea of black, and there is no mechanic who can put us on the track. The diesel smoke is filling up the chambers of my chest, a traveling companion on this solitary quest. We accelerated quickly, but we headed for a crash. Now our beautiful connection is a pile of burned ash. We are riding on the midnight trains, leaving ghosts behind, trying to escape the thoughts that paralyze the mind. The tracks go on forever through the darkness and the rain, but motion doesn't mitigate the presence of the pain. No fast locomotive cannot outrun the regret. I watch my own reflection in the dirty window pane, juxtaposed against the drops of heavy summer rain. The passengers around me are all staring at their phone, a congregation of the lost who prefer to be alone. The rhythm of the metal rails is hypnotic to the ear, a steady beat that drummed away my reservation fear. I wonder if you woke up yet and noticed I was gone, or if you'll only realize when you see the morning dawn. The conductor checks my ticket with a sympathetic glance. He knows that people on this coach are running from romance. We are a collection of the broken and the bruised, who chose to be abandoned rather than to be abused. The next stop is a junction where the tracks begin to split, a geographical expression of the way that we just quit. I could switch to another line and head back to your arms, but my intuition warns me of the volatile alarms. The diesel smoke is filling up the chambers of my chest, a traveling companion on this solitary quest. We accelerated quickly, but we headed for a crash. Now our beautiful connection is a pile of burned ash. We are riding on the midnight trains, leaving ghosts behind, trying to escape the thoughts that paralyze the mind. The tracks go on forever through the darkness and the rain, but motion doesn't mitigate the presence of the pain. No fast locomotive cannot outrun the regret. Ooh. Oh. Click, pace, track, change, speed up the pace. Get me far away from the memory of your face. The whistle is a scream that echoes through the mountain pass, as we shatter every illusion like a sheet of fragile glass. You can pull the emergency brake, but it's too late to stall. The locomotive is moving, and it's gonna take it all. Chug, chug, chug. The engine sighs as the city dies. We are riding on the midnight trains, leaving ghosts behind, trying to escape the thoughts that paralyze the mind. The tracks go on forever through the dark We constructed a residence out of transparent sheets, overlooking the traffic of the municipal streets. We wanted the world to witness our architectural grace, believing we inhabited a flawless, immaculate space. There were no brick walls or curtains to hide the daily operations that occurred inside. But transparency is dangerous when you have secrets to keep, and structural integrity was incredibly cheap. You threw a heavy porcelain mug across the living room zone, and the impact shattered a structural seal they could hold. The spider web fracture expanded across the front wall, a terrifying indicator of our impending total fall. We are living in an environment where you shouldn't throw stones, but we are launching projectiles that are fracturing bones. The illusion of perfection is beginning to crack, and there is no glazier who can put the pieces back. The foundation is splintering under the acoustic strain, and the roof is leaking from the heavy summer rain. We are exposed to the elements and the public gaze, trapped inside a greenhouse of our departed days. We are shattering our glass houses into tiny shards today, watching our privacy wash completely away. The transparency we worship is the weapon of our doom, creating a display case out of a domestic room. Yeah, the fragments are sharp, and they are cut in the heart. I see the neighbors gathering along the pavement perimeter line, watching the spectacular destruction of your world and mine. We are a public exhibition, a free entertainment show for the curious citizens who live in the valley below. They watch you pack your suitcase through the transparent floor, and they witness my desperation as I stand by the door. There is no dignity left in this architectural mistake, just a pile of silica that we managed to break. I sweep up the remnants with a plastic bristle broom, but the splinters are scattered throughout every single room. They embed themselves deeply in the soles of my feet, a physical punishment that is thoroughly complete. We wanted to be honest, we wanted to be clear, but the exposure generated a paralyzing fear. We should have built with timber or solid granite block instead of this material that cannot handle the shock. The foundation is splintering under the acoustic strain, and the roof is leaking from the heavy summer rain. We are exposed to the elements in the public gaze, trapped inside a greenhouse of our departed days. We are shattering our glass houses into tiny shards today, watching our privacy wash completely away. The transparency we worship is the weapon of our doom, creating a display case out of a domestic room. Yeah, the fragments are sharp, and they are cutting the heart. Obliterate the remaining pain, let the environment collapse under the internal strain. We don't require protection if the honesty is dead. We don't require a shelter for the things we left unsaid. Let the shards tumble down like a crystalline shower, ending our residency at this final hour.
Tiny shards today, watching our privacy wash completely away. The transparency we worship is the weapon of our doom, creating a display case out
fragments are sharp, and they are cutting the heart. Silica dust, broken trust, clear, clear. The landlord gave us 30 days to vacate the address, a legal expiration of our domestic mess. The lease had expired and the renewal was denied, an external reflection of the vacancy inside. We packed our belongings into cardboard crates, accepting the reality of our separate fates. But every second passing felt like a heavy toll, an hourglass empty in the chambers of my soul. We watched the digital digits on the microwave clock, counting down the moments until the final shock. We were like tenants in a hotel room we didn't own, waiting for the bellhop to unplug the telephone. The furniture was ours, but the walls belonged to him, and the prospects of our future were looking rather dim. We tried to make a memory out of a remaining day, but the calendar was ruthless in taking it away. The interest is accumulating on the debt we owe, and there is no extension that the bankers will bestow. We are living on a currency we didn't earn or steal, and the bankruptcy of our romance is getting far too real. We are surviving on borrowed time, counting down the ticks, trying to assemble a house from broken bricks. The loan has matured and the collectors are outside. There is no longer a place where our spirits can hide. Yeah, the deadline is coming, and we cannot pay the price. I remember when we believed our resources were infinite. Every hour was a treasure, and we spent every minute of it. We didn't check the ledger or calculate the cost, never imagining the magnitude of what we eventually lost. Now we are budgeting our syllables and measuring our strides, like passengers on a vessel where the captain divides the remaining water rations among a desperate crew. A tragic situation for a person like you. I see the moving van parked along the curb below, a motorized chariot that is forcing us to go. The tail lights are blinking in a rhythmic sort of thread, a visual punctuation of my absolute regret. You take the upper highway and I will take the coast, leaving behind the structure that we populated most. Our temporary lease on happiness has reached its final date, and there is no extension from the officials of fate. The interest is accumulating on the debt we owe, and there is no extension that the bankers will bestow. We are living on a currency we didn't earn or steal, and the bankruptcy of our romance is getting far too real. We are surviving on borrowed time, counting down the ticks, trying to assemble a house from broken bricks. The loan has matured and the collectors are outside. There is no longer a place where our spirits can hide. Yeah, the deadline is coming, and we cannot pay the price. Stop the pendulum, smash the watch against the wall, arrest the momentum before the boulders start to fall. But gravity is absolute and chronology is strict. You cannot modify the sentences the judges will inflict. The countdown is at 0, and the buzzer starts to ring, ending the existence of our temporary thing. Tick tock, time's up, drop the cup. We are surviving on borrowed time, counting down the ticks, trying to assemble a house from broken bricks. The pay the price. No more days, parting ways. Zero. The television screen is displaying a snowy white glare, while I'm sitting frozen in the leather rocking chair. The broadcasting station went off the air at 3, leaving a frequency of pure white noise for me to see. I remember when our future was a high-definition view, vibrant and crystal clear when I was standing next to you. But the signal grew corrupted as the distance grew too wide, and the transmission failed from the emotional inside. I tried to tune the antenna to capture your frequency, but the feedback loop was brutal, and it blinded me to see. The cathode ray tube is buzzing with a low electricity hum, a technological desert that has made my fingers numb. We used to share a vision of a cottage by the stream, but that imagery has dissolved into a highly static dream, a scrambled manifestation of a hope we couldn't save, buried underneath the mountain of a broken wireless wave. The reception is poor and the satellites are down. There is no communication traveling across this town. We are trying to connect through a rusted copper wire, but the voltage is insufficient to ignite the inner fire. We are trapped in static dreams, waking up to white noise, losing all the innocence of our youthful boys and joys. The channel is scrambled and the screen is getting gray, washing all the clarity of our own life away. Yeah, the signal is dead, just like the love we fed. I found an old cassette tape underneath the car seat floor, containing all the melodies that we don't hum anymore. The magnetic ribbon is tangled in the plastic casing cracked, a physical example of the loyalty we lacked. I forced it into the player, but the audio was distorted. Every happy memory was violently aborted by the hiss and the crackle of a tape that has decayed, just like the fragile promises that we previously made. The telecommunication tower on the summit of the hill is struck by winter lightning while the atmosphere is chill. The grid is shutting down and the indicators flash red, a systematic failure of the narrative we let. I dial your telephone number, but the operator says the circuit is busy with the ghost of yesterdays. There is no data traveling across the fiber optic cable to fix the broken pieces of our metaphorical table. The reception is poor and the satellites are down. There is no communication traveling across this town. We are trying to connect through a rusted copper wire, but the voltage is insufficient to ignite the inner fire. We are trapped in static dreams, waking up to white noise, losing all the innocence of our youthful boys and joys. The channel is scrambled and the screen is getting gray, washing all the clarity of our own life away. Yeah, the signal is dead, just like the love we fed. memories dead, just like the love we fed. Static noise, lost our poise, disconnect.